Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this Normalizing Next YouTube series. It is an awesome opportunity to do a deep dive on vision this month. We talked about how we have to write our vision and we also have to make it clear. Our foundational conversation is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 through 3. Write a vision, make it plain upon a tablet so that a runner can read it. There is still a vision for the appointed time. It testifies to the end. It does not deceive. If it delays, wait for it will surely come. It will not be late. Well, it's all about vision. And that's one of the reasons I wrote my new book, Normalizing Next, a post-COVID-19 resource for church leaders. Guess what? God has a vision for you. God has a vision for your life, for your family, for your community. God has a vision for your church. Last week, we gave 2 tips to understanding God's vision for your life. Tip number 1, discernment. Tip number 2, discovery. Now, here's the final and third tip, deployment. What does it mean to deploy? It means to launch off. It means to go forward. It means to execute and refuse to stay where you are. Guess what? The key to achieving God's vision for your life, it's all up to you. God has already done the work and God is doing the work. But what happens when you get stuck? You're afraid. You don't want to deploy into the vision that God has for your life. I understand it very well because it happens to me from time to time. You know, I love these online retail stores that allow you to shop as long as you like for whatever you like. And then when you select the item you want to purchase, you place it in the cart or in queue. But something happens, you get distracted and you walk away from your phone or your computer for an hour or two, and then you're reminded, I've got to buy something, and you go back to that website, and guess what? What you wanted to buy a couple of hours ago is still in queue. It's still in the cart. And the algorithm for the website and the company is so powerful, it will even tell you suggestions of other things you may want to buy based upon your previous shopping behavior. But this is what I've learned about the cart or the queue section for online shopping. Unless I hit purchase, it stays where it is. The same is true for vision. Unless you make your move, it remains where it is. You know, I know there are so many barriers that are in our lives that sometimes keep us from making the move, deploying, executing into our vision. For some, it's time. For others, it's money, support, fear, the thought of failure, and even fatigue. Each of these are real vision barriers. But guess what? I believe in you, and God believes in you. And right now, if you would just see yourself living into the vision that God has for you, you can make the move and take the very first step to achieving God's vision for your life. So here's the question. What's the first next step you're willing to make to execute God's vision for your life? Remember, it's all about discernment, it's all about discovery, and it's all about deployment. I promise you, God's vision for your life is greater than anything you can ever imagine. Today, make the first move in the direction of God's vision for your life. Thanks for joining this Normalizing Next YouTube series. I hope you subscribe to it and share it with others. Follow me on social media. Also go to my website, olubrown.com, to get a copy of this new book, Normalizing Next, a post-COVID-19 resource for church leaders, and other books that I've written that are designed just for you. Remember, God has a vision for your life, and it's greater than anything you can imagine. We'll see you next week. God bless.